information that's available to us, and mentioning psychics and mediums and all that sort of thing. And you mentioned something about information overwhelm. So I just wanted to pick up on that. What was the connection between the fact there's all this information available and the information overwhelm that you mentioned?
Yeah, if you're, I'll share. So this is where, so through the lens of when I was understanding myself through the lens of neurodiversity, right? One of the symptoms, and then just for everybody listening, because when I say, I use the term neurodiversity because it's more broad than just one thing, but for context, as I was going through understanding of myself, I was, diagnosed as, what was see here? There's alexithymia, math dyslexia, regular dyslexia, autistic, Erland syndrome, which is these glasses. I think there was like one more. Either way, after like a handful, I was like, all right, I'm cool. I don't really need any more. Oh, ADHD, that was the other one, right? Yeah. Right. And so one of them was those is sensory overload or what can't remember and so and I would always feel that. I would always feel jittery. I'd always feel like I couldn't take anything else going on into my head, and I was always on edge. And so over time, I started to recognize that, I'm picking up on the energies of other people. I'm picking up on the energies of my circumstances. I'm picking up on the energies of animals. The world is talking to me. And so when I didn't understand how to take in that information, it would be like, it just builds up on it, right? Until the body's able to figure out how to process it. And it's either going to process it one of two ways. It's either going to explode and throw it out through like a temper tantrum or something like that, right? Which is, I'm not too proud to admit that those were ways that I would do it, right? And going and blowing off steam without knowing that was what I would do. And that would, usually involve something that, like, where I needed to receive like some sort of a rush, adrenaline, to then let that stuff off. And instead, once I started to recognize how things were talking to me, and then I was able to process things. And so I didn't have that sense of overload anymore. I didn't have that need to blow up. I didn't have that buildup occurring on me. And instead I started to spend my time going, okay, what am I supposed to be learning? What is being taught to me? What is being spoken to me? Is what I'm feeling mine? Is it somebody else's? And then also, do I need to take anything on this? Do I need to take any action on this? Which then ultimately led to, okay, I'm extremely open, but do I need to be? And this is another thing that doesn't get taught, which is you have control over your human suit, how much comes in, right? You can train it to only take in information from certain places, but without knowing how and where you're taking in the information, and then you're not able to train it to support you. And it can very much be system overload.
Yeah.
Especially if you choose to work with other people, using your psychism to provide guidance or insights to them and in their life, because then you're connecting into their energy, right? And that, and that, as you talked about, right? Once you start to do those things, it takes a toll. There needs to be a recovery period.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for explaining that. And that makes perfect sense to me. So you were basically, you mentioned in the videos that you've been starting to write your own owner's manual. That sounds like part of that process, that you're kind of starting to realize, hold on, this human suit, as you call it, has the capacity to pick up all this information, but it doesn't mean it has to pick it up all of the time. Maybe, and you said you can train yourself to, I suppose, where you're going to focus and what you're going to take in and what you're going to do with the information, which is such a nugget, a gold nugget, that is, that information. If only we were all taught that at school. Wouldn't that be wonderful? Although, where are you going to find to teach people that at school? I mean, that's the other question. Is that